I don't know if I ever sat down and thought, what do I
Yeah.
envision
Yeah.
for UCI? But
Yeah.
we always heard excellence in
Yeah.
teaching, research, and service. Everyone knew.
And that permeated the,
Oh, yeah.
the mission, I think, of Student Affairs. And I think Student Affairs realized that it was here not as the primary entity of the university, but as a secondary or tertiary, with the faculty being the lead in terms of their research and their academic endeavors. So we didn't attempt to compete, we attempted to complement. And I think we were able to do that very successfully.
And we had to teach students who would come to us and say, how can we get a class on this topic? Well, you don't just go and bang on the door, you need to work with the Senate. Then they get on committees with the Academic Senate. And that was another thing, but Randy and I, as well as our other colleagues, served on many administrative committees that had faculty on them and students. It was a very participatory governance that was in place. And I think it's really hard for students to understand how a university functions. Randy actually had a class, the internship program, which was another thing that was started during our tenure. And he continues to this day to be asked to come back and speak about the governance of the university and how the regions fit into the campuses and the chancellor's role and how much power is within the faculty. And
yeah,
that's,
it's
a
for
great,
a student who doesn't come out of a higher education graduate background, if you will, how this place functions in a shared governance
is unique.
Is very unique, and it can be very confusing. But so I attempt through this course to try to break that down and to provide some explanation as to the history and how the University of California is unique in terms of that one university principle among the 10 campuses of UC.
In fact, the All-U, the Randy B. Lewis All-University Leadership Conference, called the RBL All-U for short, that program, which Randy started, has as a major element bringing faculty and students and the chancellor and the vice chancellors together.
Yeah.
And for a weekend, which was unique.
Yeah. And
nobody had one like that.
It was actually Jack Petersen who was serving as chancellor at the time.
Yeah.
He went or spoke to Horace Mitchell, who was the vice chancellor of Student Affairs at the time, and said, we really need to do something at the beginning of the year to bring all of our student leaders together, along with myself as chancellor and the other vice chancellors and key faculty leaders, to create an opportunity for engagement and exchange and dialogue. And so I was given that task and went about launching what became known as the All-University Leadership Conference, the first and I think maybe the only program of its kind at UC. And when I retired in 2006, it was renamed after me, which was something I'm very proud of. But Jack Peltesen's thought on that was that you create an opportunity on the front end for this kind of dialogue. And then when things get really sticky in the spring and students are rallying and protesting and knocking on your door, there is a relationship that you can fall back on. And it pays dividends.
Usually by that time they knew them by name and they'd talked with them and they'd had that kind of a
So he saw it as an investment.
Yeah.
And it turned out to be simply, or just that. And so every year, continuing on to this day, some 250 students participate in this leadership conference event.
And now, unfortunately, it's not. I don't think it's as long as we had at the beginning, but it still has that primary role to bring that interaction. Another thing, I don't know if it was Vice Chancellor Mitchell or Vice Chancellor Gomez Manuel, who started the lunches, monthly lunches with students. They would have every month.
I think that was Vice Chancellor Mitchell, I think.
So Horace did that. And we would have his administration and all of the student leaders in the student government would be monthly. And we talk about what was coming up and what the issues were in it. That was another kind of a unique thing that was started. And that really paid dividends in relationship building as well.